All right, Levon.
Yeah, I
How
was
you
trying
doing?
to do it through my computer, but I can only do it through my phone. So,
Yeah, Instagram can be tricky sometimes.
yeah,
How you doing, man?
I'm great, bro. How about you?
I'm good, man. Thank you for coming on today.
No problem.
So I just want to, with recent events, you're a Steelers legend yourself, but there's another Steelers legend, Antonio Brown. Probably seen all over the news him being an idiot on the field. How much would you say he has damaged his legacy over the last 3 years?
Well, I'm sure to a lot of people, at least some, that he probably has. And, this is just the latest of some of the things that have been going on. But, I have a lot of compassion for him because I can't imagine what he's going through.
Mhm.
And it's got to be difficult to lead the game in that kind of fashion. I don't really know the whole story. I know people have been saying about it, but I don't know the whole story. So, me, I kind of lean more so on having empathy for him and, just wanting to make sure that he's okay. Because, in the game of football or any sport or anything you love, you put everything into it. But with a game like football, your you put everything on the line. You can seriously get hurt in this game,
Mhm.
and so it's emotionally and spiritually taxing. And so when you put that much into it, sometimes it can really get to some guys in different ways, and we've seen many cases like that where this game has been a little bit too overwhelming. So I don't know the issues with Antonio Brown. I don't really know him. I just want to wish him the best of luck, because we all make mistakes and we make more than just one or two. We make several. And you just want to make sure that he's okay and that that people are having more compassion than to say that, oh, he's crazy or this or that. So that's kind of what I feel about the whole situation.
Do you think that he still deserves a gold jacket? Because it's supposed, I mean, the talent is there. We've seen the talent over the past decade. But you saw guys like Terrell Owens with off the field issues. It took him a while to get into the Hall of Fame. Do you think that I mean it's not supposed like the Hall of Fame is only supposed to be the on the field, but do you think that they won't give him a gold jacket just because all this off the field issues?
Um, that's really not up for me to say. In my opinion, it may not happen because of all the other things that have happened. Talent wise, I mean, I think he's probably one of the best wide receivers to ever play the game. But I don't think it's just your talent that gets you in the Hall of Fame. I think there's some other things as well. But you can make the argument there's a lot of guys who didn't do great things and who did some things off the field that you're just like question. But since now that we have social media and everybody has a camera, everybody's a podcaster, then we that I can't say if he's won or not. I think his career he's had a great career, but I'm not sure if that's going to be enough because there are voters out there and the voters have their opinions and they're going to vote likewise. So I mean, but it how things have gone with them, it probably doesn't make it easy. Uh,
Can you hear me okay? The Wi-Fi was kind
yeah,
of
I can
cutting
hear you
out a little
now.
bit.
Yeah,
You got me?
yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I got you.
Okay.
hmm
Um, how much would you say the linebacker position has changed from now to when you played?
well, I think a lot of things have changed since I played.
Hmm.
Gosh, I mean, 2002 was really my last year, so it's been a long time, almost 20 something years. So I think it's changed because the game is more outside of the box. The game is spread out a little bit, so it's not as physical as it used to be. So you have to be really skilled to play linebacker. I feel you have to be able to cover, but also you have to be able to take on the run, which isn't different, But I think because the game is spread out, you're looking for a different type of linebacker. Probably not as you're not looking for thumpers as much anymore. I think you're looking for
Mhm.
guys who are capable of stopping the run, but you got to have guys who are really capable as far as coverage is concerned and or even the zone. So I feel like the game has changed because they've done they took the physicality out the game. And I think they took out the art of defense, which means, you can't give guys any messages anymore. And what I mean by messages is, you can hit a guy a little late or whatever, guy come across the middle, you can tag him. But now that's kind of hard to do without a penalty flag. And I think it's a little unfair to the defense because I think the quarterback is supposed to protect his wide receivers when he's throwing the ball. It's not up to the safety to protect the wide receivers. It's really up to the quarterback to do that. And I don't really agree with taking out the physicality of it. I think targeting is ridiculous, especially in the college game. You throw a kid out when he's just trying to make an honest play. And I just don't think that's cool. So I think that's the difference. The physicality of the game is a lot different.
Yeah, because you look at even like the size difference in linebackers then and linebackers now. Like the linebackers now, they're not supposed to only just be run stoppers. They have to be in coverage. They have to be able to pass rush. They have to be able to stop the run. They have to be able to make open field tackles. So you just the size. There's a big size difference now because like you're a big guy, and look at someone now. The linebacker, they're not as like huge and tall and weigh a lot like they used to be.
Well, I think that everything is relevant. I think that if I was born later, that with the technology, the training, I probably could have worked out then. And even back then, I mean, there was a lot of guys who could do it all.
Mm.
I think that, yeah, the athlete's going to change. They're going to get bigger and stronger, no doubt about it. But like I said before, I think the physicality of the game is different. Our game was more in the box. So you
Mm.
have more guys around the line of scrimmage. It's not like that. The size and stuff, I mean, I think it's all relevant. I mean, you have guys who are big like me that people didn't think that I thought I was maybe too big to play linebacker. And you had guys smaller that they didn't think should play linebacker. So size is all, it really kind of all depends. It's like beauty, it's in the eye of the beholder.
So, what was it like playing on one of the best defenses the league has ever seen?
Oh, it was great. And the reason why is because you had other players who bought into um, what the Steelers were talking about, took ownership on the field, and you pushed each other. I mean, it's great when you got other guys who have the same mission as you do, want to be great players, and especially when you can put that in a team concept, then it's great because you really take pride in what you're doing. So it was a lot of fun too. We had a bunch of fun playing. We were kind of different as far as the blitz zone is concerned. We were innovative. We were probably one of the first defense to really bring DB. Sir, we would drop off defensive linemen. We did all kind of crazy stuff, and our practices were fun. We got along as a team, so it was great. It really was, and I enjoyed all of it. I was fortunate to get drafted with the Pittsburgh Steelers and to play under leadership like Bill Cowher, Tom Donahoe, um, Coach Mitch, Tim Lewis, Jim Hasley. There were a lot of guys. Mike Archer. There was a lot of guys, a lot of coaches, and they were really knowledgeable coaches. They treated us like just a lot of fun. And playing in Pittsburgh is it's amazing. It really is. The fans are knowledgeable. The fans also they are passionate. They are super passionate. And so it's a great atmosphere. It's a little cold, so it's a football city. It's a blue collar city. and if I fit in, it was good.
Mhm. So you played the bulk of your career with Pittsburgh, and then at the end, like the last 2 years, you played with the Seahawks, and you played in Philadelphia. Three of the teams have they call the craziest fans in the league, like the most diehard fans. Which would you say are the best fans in the league?
Wow, I think they're all three are great fans. I do. I have to go with Pittsburgh because I stayed with those guys the longest. Now, I thought that the Philadelphia fans were very passionate, almost in your face kind of passionate. They were demanding, and if
Mm,
you didn't do something, they would call you out for it. I would say the Pittsburgh Steelers fan base is passionate. They have a certain standard because they've won so many times as far as team to be good. Seattle, I only stayed there like 1 year, and the fan base is pretty good, and it's even better now because they have had some success. Between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Eagle fans, I mean, they're right there. 1A and 1B. Good fans, man. They're
mm,
passionate about their teams. I just think Philly is a little bit too passionate for their team. So,
yeah.
yeah, but I enjoyed both fan bases. I did.
Oh, who are some of the best players you've ever had to play against? Some of your hardest competition?
There were so many good guys. The one guy that everybody asked me who was the toughest guy, toughest running back, I would have to say Barry Sanders is up
Hmm.
there. I would also have to say that Emmitt Smith was a great back. Curtis Martin gave us the most trouble. You played against guys. I mean, Troy Aikman, Dan Marino. I mean, the list goes on and on
Hmm.
of great guys. But I have to tell you one guy that we really battled a lot. There are two guys really. One guy was Sam Gash, and he played fullback for the Patriots for the most part. And we would go. I mean, we would go at blows, man. It was no backing down. We would go at it. But after the game, man, we would give each other a big embrace because we knew that we both went after each other, and that was the beauty of the game as well. Also, Ben Coates, he was a tight end for the Patriots, and we had some battles too. So there's certain guys that you go against, certain linemen. There's a lot of great players out there, but if I would say pick one guy that was probably the best guy, I would have to say Barry Sanders.
Mm. What was your most memorable moment in the league?
I would have to say the Super Bowl. Uh, I was a captain. I was in my fourth year, and we went out for the coin toss. And there's Vanessa Williams over there, and my one of my buddies, Damani Dawson, is like hit me on the shoulder. I'm like, what? He's like, hey man, look, it's Vanessa Williams. So the whole Super Bowl thing was amazing because you're the only game in town. Everybody's watching you, and it is a spectacle. It really is. And then you have you know, the planes flying over, all the fireworks. It's the biggest game of the year. So it was definitely the Super Bowl. Had a great time. Although we lost
Mm.
the game, that was kind of a bummer. But it was also a game that I had a really good game, and I thought it was a game that people started recognizing me a little bit more as a good football player too.
Mm. How did you elevate your game every year you played, year after year? How would you elevate your game?
It was simple, just hard work, just
Mm.
putting in the work. Guys, you get drafted, they hug the commissioner, but that's just one part of it. Getting drafted is a great thing, but it's just a very small part of it. You have to come in and you have to really gain the respect of the other players, and you have to do some work. You everybody's developing and everybody's trying to get better, and the teams are trying to they're trying to always find your replacement at some point in time. It's not going like being in college or being in high school. It's a continuous thing, and you have to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, if you're not a worker, I doubt if you can really succeed. There's a lot of talented guys that come in there, but the ones who separate themselves are the guys who really work hard, pay attention to details, and they do the right thing. So you have to be able to be that kind of guy. So I would say that just putting in work, and especially when I really got into being a great technician and really paying attention to my fundamentals, that's when I became a lot better football player.
Yeah, so how did your work ethic change from your college workouts to your NFL workouts?
Well, it's great to have a work ethic first and foremost, and that's something that you learn, I think, early on. I was a guy that worked on tobacco farms, and my father was relentless. To me, football wasn't so much work than fun and a release from my daily family life. And then when I got to college, man, my high school coach did such a good job of showing us how to work that when I got to Clemson, man, I knew how to put in the work. But when you get to the NFL, it's now you're playing guys who are the top 1% of all football players. So everybody's good. Everybody's good. And so there's a certain speed of the game that you got to get accustomed to. And the only way you get accustomed to doing that is you got to put in the repetition. And you got to be able to do that every day. And you got to be able to not only sacrifice your body, but you also got to sacrifice your stats. I think, um, I think, I think if you think about winning more so than what you're going to do individually, that you tend to play better. So there's a lot of lessons throughout the years that I had to learn. First,
Mhm.
how to play inside linebacker because I never played it before. Then once you get to that point, how can I be a better inside linebacker? How can I be a starter? Once you get to be a starter, okay, well, uh, if you're not trying to get to the Pro Bowl or anything like that, I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think you're a player. I think everybody's trying to get to the highest level. So you keep reaching for the highest level, and you just never really try to let up. And then once you say I'm retired, once you start thinking about it, then you're retired.
Mhm.
So it just increased. It's just like everything. I mean, just in high school, you try to get better from your freshman year to your senior year. You're a better player your senior year than your freshman year. Same thing in college. Your freshman year, you're not as good, but then you get better. In senior year, probably should be one of the better players. And then when I got into NFL, same thing. You got that rookie year, you got a lot to learn, you got a lot you got to develop, and I did, and I just kept it going. But like I said, you got to have a work ethic if you're gonna be successful at anything. And then also you got to give it all you got. If you don't, I don't care what you do. If you don't give it all you got, I think you're not pleasing God. So
Mhm.
that's how you live life. You give it everything. And as long as you do that, you're good.
All right, man. Thank you so much for coming on today. It really means a lot. My grandma is actually a huge Steelers fan and always watched you play. It really means a lot. I thought it was cool you came on.
I will tell your grandmother I said hello.
All right, well, thank you.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah.
man.
And thank you for having me on. I really appreciate it.
All right, man.